do the hard things first, right? You've woken up, you've had a good night's sleep, and what's the first thing that most people do? Check their phones. What is the thing that you could do instead? Instead is to do the hardest thing first. Do something really difficult, something you really don't want to do, as soon as possible. Because as the day goes on, your decision making, or the amounts or the number of good decisions that you're going to be able to make, is on a timer. It's kind of on a timer, because don't you find that as the day goes on, it becomes harder and harder for you to make logical decisions? Would you agree? So what about if you were to exercise that self-discipline by doing that hard thing first thing in the morning, doing that task that has been hanging over you, doing that thing that you really don't want to do? In my example, in part of my routine, part of my early morning routine, is to have a cold shower. Like, I'm out of the bed, I go to the shower, and within 3 minutes of waking up, I'm stood under a cold shower to wake me up, to energize me. Do I want to go into that cold shower first thing in the morning at 5:30? Of course not. Is it hard? Is it difficult? Yes. Do I want to do it? Hell no. Do I do it anyway? Yes. Yes, I do. And I've been doing it for pretty much the whole of lockdown, and it's now just a habit, because I've trained myself to do something difficult first thing in the morning. Do something I really don't want to do, so that now I can rely on myself even more to do the hard things more often, to do the hard things as early as possible, because then you get it done. You get to tick it off your massive to-do list that you might be running, and everything else by comparison is going to be much easier, because you've got the hardest thing out of the way. I'm not saying that the cold shower is, going to be the hardest part of my day. However, it gives you perspective. It gives you that self-belief that you can do things, and you can do hard things, right? The more hard things you do, the easier your life is generally going to be. The more easy things you do, the harder your life is going to end up over time, okay? We've all learnt from mistakes like that over the years, and I'm sure you can look back hand on heart and see that where there was the easy route, where there were the easy options for you to take, the more and more you took of those easy options, the harder it became further down the line. For example, if you want to relate it to health and fitness, if you're constantly, say, taking the easy route all the time, like, say, you're always going for the convenience food, or you're always getting the takeaways and stuff like that, further on down the line, that's going to come round and bite you on the bum, is it not? If you're always going for the easy route, you're not nourishing your body, and what happens? You join the 64% of Britain who are clinically classed as overweight or obese. That's just one example of a million that I could give you in terms of where taking the easy route, doing lots and lots of the easy things, generally leads to it being harder for you later on in life. Whereas if you do the hard things, like the cold showers, like having that conversation with the person that you don't really want to, like firing that person, like paying that bill, like putting the skin in the game, whatever it is, whatever that hard thing is for you, having that conversation with the person you don't really like, or whatever it is, the more of the hard things you do, the easier your life does become. So what hard thing can you do first thing tomorrow? I always want these episodes to give you value, to inspire you to do one thing. So if this video or if this podcast or wherever it is that you're seeing, reading or hearing this message, if it inspires just one of you to do something hard first thing on the day, in the morning, then my work is done. So what are you going to do? What hard thing are you going to do to make your life easier down the line?